Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a very special edition of J&J Squared Circle Wrestling Updates and Commentary. This is our Raw recap for 6/10/2019. I am your host, Josh. I am here today by myself. My co-host couldn't be here today. Special needs require special attention, so that's what he's doing today. But I wanted to make sure that I come to you guys today. I want to make sure that we follow through on all of our promises in terms of our listing. I know we missed this weekend, you guys. I am sorry. I know we missed Super Showdown. I am sorry. There was just a lot of things that went on this weekend that just overtook everything. We try really hard to make these shows happen right after, but sometimes life just kind of kicks in for us. So, but let's get through this, okay? Let's start to break this down. So, tonight's episode of Raw. With the chair, and it was overall thing. So he was basically talking about all of that stuff, hyped up the whole crowd, got everybody going. Baron Corbin then came out, basically, getting booed and talking bad about San Jose and different things like that. And one thing leads to another. Baron Corbin then asked for a rematch, which obviously he wasn't going to get, and he wanted to do something with a special referee. Rollins says, "You don't have any friends. Who's going to special referee this?" Sami Zayn comes out, starts talking a whole bunch of mess. Rollins retaliates, starts talking mess back. That leads to Kevin Owens coming in. Kevin Owens basically says, "I got his back." I'm, talking a whole bunch of crap. Rollins then challenges Kevin Owens, and that match pretty much gets made. Really interesting segment between these four. Three heels standing on the stage, all talking crap to one man, which is kind of cool, nice and old school, good to see. Kevin Owens joked about the wild card, and it's just kind of an interesting deal. And then we got the very next matchup, which was basically an elimination version of the Super Showdown match between Lucha House Party and Lars Sullivan. So it was an elimination handicap match. The very first person to get eliminated was Kalisto. The second to get eliminated was Lance Dorado. And then the final pin went for Lars Sullivan. Lars Sullivan then went over. Absolute squash match. It did nothing for anybody. What a waste of freaking time to have to see this match again. It really wasn't a good match. I really don't know what to say about that. So now we come back to a brand new segment with an interview with the almighty crappy Michael Cole and Lacey Evans and Becky Lynch. So basically, Michael Cole got a total of one question in, and it basically led to Lacey and Becky just kind of going back and forth, with each other, talking a whole bunch of mess. Lacey then gets over it, and then the interview ends. And then we go back to the back, and it's Nikki Cross with Alexa Bliss. Alexa basically talking bad about Bayley. Basically calling her a hometown whore. Kind of an interesting setup. Mick Foley recently said that WWE has full plans to actually bring back the Attitude Era, and for Bliss to say something like this about Bayley is pretty bold. Kind of signs that maybe the Attitude Era is kind of trickling back. And I have something to say about the Attitude Era, but I'm gonna get to that after we get through this. So basically, Bliss asked Nikki if she would be in her corner tonight. Nikki Cross accepted, and then we move on to Miz TV. I don't know how you guys feel about these little segments. I feel like they're just basically knockoffs of the Piper's Pit. They really don't mean anything to me. However, the interview was with The Miz interviewing Samoa Joe. It basically led to it led to Braun Strowman coming out. It then led to Bobby Lashley coming out. It led to Ricochet coming out, then Cesaro, and then all kinds of just, Havoc starts, Ricochet gets attacked by Cesaro on the ramp. Everybody starts fighting everybody, and then, Ricochet, The Miz, and Braun Strowman end up getting the upper hand in that little issue there. And what ends up going down is they create a 6-man tag match. So we have Braun Strowman, The Miz, and Ricochet versus Bobby Lashley, Samoa Joe, and Cesaro. So it was kind of a decent match. I mean, to me, it really wasn't that big of a deal. It was a typical 6-man match. Goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. They looks like Miz may get a feud with Samoa Joe out of this. I believe, personally, I think that'd make an incredible matchup. Miz is really, really good, especially when it comes to belts. He really appreciates the belt. So we're quite possibly going to get a whole thing there. So then we get down to that match, and it's like I said, it was a decent match. Braun Strowman, Ricochet, and The Miz, they get the win on that. So it's kind of, like I said, it's good versus evil. Good wins. I don't know. It was a filler match. What can I say? The next matchup that we have is Bayley and Becky versus Alexa and Lacey with Nikki Cross outside the ring. Honestly, I kind of feel like this match should have been towards the end of the night. Where it was placed, they really buried this match. I believe I believe that um, it was more important than what it was, for a lot of reasons. There's feuds being built between every single person in that match, and I really kind of believe that they blew it in terms of where they placed it. And just recently, there was a couple of interviews with some of the AEW stars that were from WWE. And a long time ago, there was an interview with CM Punk. And they were all basically about the same thing. They were basically talking about match placement. Why was my match placed at the beginning when it should have been placed towards the end? I really believe this is one of those situations. It was a good match for the women. It was a decent match. Lacey got to show off her skills in terms of power and things like that. It went really, really well. Alexa Bliss and Lacey actually got the win. They got the win on this, which I was kind of surprised about. But hey, you know what? So many good people have been winning here lately. It's about time some of the heels got the win. So, at the end of the day, great match, bad match placement within the show. It is what it is. Now, there was another segment going on for the 24/7 title belt where there was a bunch of people basically locked up in an elevator, and the elevator wouldn't open, and no referee, so nobody could attack R-Truth, and then it cut back and forth a couple times. So in case you guys don't know, I'm actually getting texts from John right now. He's watching the show right now. I'm going to point this out. And I know you can hear me, John, right now. Quit freaking texting me. If you wanted to be on the show, you should have been here. Leave me alone. I'm doing the best I can here by myself without my partner. So go kiss my ass, yeah? So, anyway, moving on. So there's that segment with the elevator. We move on to Shane McMahon backstage with Sami Zayn. Sami's trying to basically, get in to be the special referee. Shane McMahon decides that he's going to be the special referee outside the ring, as a second deal. So anyway, that whole segment went on there. Why they're pushing this, I don't know. Moving on, the next segment with Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman comes out, basically incredible promo as usual. Paul Heyman is just absolutely the king when it comes to promos. Super fan of Paul Heyman and his promos. He comes out, he gives this whole promo about basically how Seth Rollins beat the shit out of him with a with a chair back and forth constantly, and says that, hey, just because of that, we're not going to tell you when we cash in. We're going to wait till the most opportune moment, and we're going to cash it in, whatever. I don't know why this surprises anybody. Doesn't surprise me. It's Brock Lesnar. He's a dickhead. Of course he's going to cash in whenever he wants. I don't know why anybody would even be surprised that this was going to happen. So, there it is. That was the whole segment for Paul Heyman. Thank you for coming out. Appreciate it. Adios. We go back to the R-Truth segment again. One part I did like about that elevator is R-Truth looked right at Drake Maverick and called him Hornswoggle. He said, I'm scared to death of Hornswoggle. And of course Drake got pretty pissed that he was being called Hornswoggle because he's short as shit and peed on himself in the middle of the ring. And that was pretty funny. That was good times. Then we get another waste of freaking time. The Iconics. They come out and awful squash match again. I don't. I honestly don't remember when they even used champions to squash. Like, why do you need to squash people as the champions? It doesn't build the belt up. The belts are supposed to be the most prestigious, powerful thing in the business. And you're going to put these guys in squash matches? Like, what is the purpose of this? I don't get it. Like, I don't get it. I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me why they're doing this with them. We get it. They're shit as far as a team is concerned. They're not good. They're awful. They can't sell their moves. Their mic skills are god awful to a degree that has never been achieved before. And they're being used for squash matches. Why trap the belts on two buttheads that can't even freaking talk or wrestle? I don't get it. Listen, you can only sell me a piece of ass for so long before I am totally tired of it. And I'm done with them. I think the world is done with them. Move on. If they don't, I swear to God, if they don't lose the titles, at the next pay-per-view, I think the women's division, in terms of tag team division, is dead. If they don't lose the titles at the next pay-per-view, it's dead. Okay? They officially don't give two squirts of piss about the tag team titles. Getting back to the match. Squash match. They win. It's over. Let's move on. So, the next part of the night, we have the world's greatest celebration. Shane McMahon went over on Roman Reigns thanks to Drew McIntyre at Super Showdown. And now Shane McMahon, of course, wants to come out and celebrate. And ends up pouring champagne into the world's greatest cup. Ends up drinking champagne out of it. He calls out the Revival, and the Revival come out. They grab a glass of champagne like they're going to drink it. They take it away from him. They say, hey, if you win gold, you can come and celebrate with us. And that was basically the whole thing there. It literally happened with no disturbances, no interference, no nothing. It was just a straight up promo for Roman and Drew, and that was that. And then we cut on to the next match, which was a triple threat tag team match against the Usos, Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins, and the Revival. And this was a very fast-paced match right off the bat. You could tell that they were completely crunched for time. They wanted to get it through. So the Usos, right off the bat, they're going 100 miles a minute, just boom, 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 boom. And a few things happened in between there that weren't very exciting, but it was really the Usos that really got things going. The Usos hit their splash, and the Revival actually went and capitalized on it and got the pin. And the Revival are the new Raw tag team champions. What can I say? 2-time tag team champions. I didn't see them losing those titles tonight. That was a big shocker of the evening. But the Revival are tag team champs again. Way to go, Revival. They get to go party it up with Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre. Good job. Bray Wyatt's Family Funhouse or Firefly Funhouse came on again tonight. I don't know about you guys, but it's getting old. It's getting old. We want to see Bray Wyatt. It's time. Firefly Funhouse it would be better if it was integrated into a storyline at this point. Now it's just great, whatever. I don't really care. He ends up smashing the shit out of Ramblin' Rabbit. Blood ends up going on the floor. He licks the blood and then proceeds to cut a sales promo to sell his blood in a jar. Yowie wowie for that. But we'll move on from there. He wore a really weird clown nose in that segment. So we move on to the very next match, which is one of our final matches of the night. Actually, it is our final match of the night. Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, and of course Sami Zayn as the guest referee. Good match. Really good match. Sami Zayn was an absolute pest. Constantly interfering, constantly overstepping the boundaries as a referee. And Baron Corbin ends up coming out, interfering into the match, or towards the end. But more importantly, Seth got so fed up with Sami that he ends up grabbing Sami by his shirt, and Sami disqualifies Seth Rollins. Now, the stupid part about this whole segment, is that he does this knowing that Seth was going to keep the belt. He's the ref. Totally blew it for KO to be able to even have an opportunity to win the belt. Stupid ending. But then it winds up with Baron Corbin. Seth gets a chair and completely beats the hell out of Sami Zayn, to the point where he's basically smacking Sami Zayn with this chair and looking at Baron Corbin saying, "This is what you have to look forward to. This is what's going to happen to you. You're next in line for this." So, and it went on and on and on until finally the show was basically over. Kevin Owens won that match via disqualification, and as we all know, championship rules. If you don't win the title via 1, 2, 3 or submission, you don't get the title. So title stays with Seth Rollins. Raw goes on, and it's over. Show wasn't bad. Show was a lot better than last week. I'll give it that. At least we had a little bit more matches into this. Other than that, it really wasn't that big of a deal. By the way, R-Truth made it out of that elevator without getting pinned. If anybody cares. What can I say? There's a lot to this. As far as, my comments earlier about the Attitude Era, we need a better Attitude Era. We need it to be a new Attitude Era. We don't need the Attitude Era of the 90s. We need something new. And the reason why I say this is because if you go with the old Attitude Era, they already know what's coming. We've lived through the Attitude Era. We know what's coming. They know what's coming. We need something new. We need something more creative. There's been a lot of talk over the course of the last week. McMahon's even acknowledged that there's an issue. A lot of wrestlers have said that there's issues, and they need to make it better. They need to make it better. So we need it with attitude, but we need it to be better. And I think that's why they're taking this slow process, into getting slowly but surely into more adult-oriented conversations, things of that nature. I think it's coming. I like this show because it wasn't necessarily a setup. Yes, a lot of the matches that they were talking about was definitely matches for the next pay-per-view, but at the same time, it wasn't necessarily a setup. We got a situation where we could actually see people wrestle. We could see storylines develop. That's the exciting stuff. The rest of the stuff, it just it bores me to no end. So I'm really refreshing to see a show like this. We got to see storylines end. I'm pretty sure Lucha House Party and Lars Sullivan is done. I think Lars is going to go nowhere. He cannot get a following. And because of that, he's going to go nowhere. Samoa Joe, I think the way that he got this title was garbage. I think, they had this whole storyline set up where basically Ray was going to retire and lose his mask. That's all over now. It's all gone. They still could have gone with that storyline even though he's hurt, but they decided not to do it. I don't know why. So, there's a lot to it. There's a lot to this. I don't know where they're necessarily planning a lot of these guys to go. But it was a decent show. It was a good quality show. I'm happy about it. I can't wait for tomorrow night. I can't wait to come back on tomorrow night, give you guys an update on SmackDown, see how it goes. I think SmackDown's potentially lined up to be a more exciting evening, actually. And we're definitely not going to see the Iconics, thank God. Anytime they don't show up, it makes a better show. Too bad, we're going to still get the same crap commentators on there. But anyway, moving on. You guys, thank you guys for checking in. Leave a comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can see when future shows come on. I'm not going to keep you guys all night. Thank you so much for coming to J&J's Squared Circle. John will be back on as soon as he can. I know he misses you guys. We miss him as well. His input is super important. He's my dictionary on the other end of the line. You know what I mean? I got the mouth. He's got the knowledge. Without his knowledge, the mouth don't work. So he'll be back as soon as he's able to. In the meantime, thank you guys for bearing with me. I know I wasn't that fluent tonight. I tried to do the best I could. I had a really last-minute situation come up here, but I definitely wanted to get on and provide you guys with something. So thank you. We will see you tomorrow, guaranteed 100%. You guys, you have a great night. Thank you very much for coming on. This is J&J Squared Circle. I don't know if you guys can see real quick. Right there. That is my new Twitter name. You guys can come on, follow me, tweeting all kinds of stuff about wrestling news, things of that nature. Come and see me. You guys, thank you. Good night.